ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to St. Paul Highland Park for another exciting SPNN high school boys basketball game featuring the Scots of Highland Park and the Raiders of Cretin Hall. I'm Coleman McDonough with my partner Tim Williams, along with our roving reporter Jay Cornelius. Tonight's matchup features two of the St. Paul City Conference powers. Tim, what's at stake tonight for these two teams?
Well, I'll tell you what, Cole, there's a lot at stake tonight. Not only the conference championship or possibly a tie for the conference championship, but as well, who's going to go and play in the Twin City Championship against Minneapolis North on Saturday. Both of these teams, great records so far. Highland is at 8-1 in the conference. Cretin is at 7-2. And by way of how they break tiebreakers and that sort of thing, if Cretin can win tonight, we're looking at a three-way tie in the St. Paul City between Cretin, Highland, and Central. And Cretin would go, I believe, because of the virtue that it's been the longest time since they've been in the Twin City Championship, so they would get to play North on Saturday, or Highland would go as well.
Okay, well, and as you talked about the three-way tie, we have a three-way tie between Highland Park and Cretin Hall and Central. Tonight's starting lineups for Highland Park, Maurice Hargrove and Terrence Stokes will start at the guards, Joseph Matthew and Mark Wingo at the forwards, and Thomas Wiley at the center. For Cretin Hall, Walter Bowser and Andy Fleming at the guards, Joe Maurer, Nick Thompson, and Jimmy Krieger round out the starting lineup as forwards for the Cretin Hall Raiders. Who are tonight's key players, Tim? Who are we looking for on the floor?
Well, I think for Highland Park, we got to look at Mark Wingo, Thomas Miley, because two kids with a lot of size. Thomas Miley's a 6'8" junior, Mark Wingo's a 6'5" senior. And that's going to be something that Cretin might have a difficult time with, controlling Highland's size and the presence that they'll have down low. Also, they have to look at Terrence Stokes. He's a quick point guard, can penetrate, create his own shot as well as dish off and get the assist. For Cretin, we're looking at actually about 8 guys. Cretin's a very balanced team. They really don't have any individual scorer that stands out. They have, however, I believe 7 or 8 guys who average right around 7-8 points, so they're very deep, and Highland needs to be aware of that. They also need to be aware of the depth of Cretin's bench.
Well, and I look at the two lineups, I look at the size difference. I think that's really going to pose a problem for Cretin in that you look at the big guy down low, Mark Wingo for Highland Park. He averages 18 points a game, 7.5 boards, 6'5". I mean, he's a strong player inside. Cretin really doesn't have anybody to match up with him. What do you think they're going to do defensively to try to take Wingo out of the game? Well,
they could do a couple of things. They might want to look at a zone, try to pack it in down low to take away both Wingo and Miley. They can match up man-to-man. My guess is if they want to do that, they might front Wingo and Miley and try to get some backside help if they're able to lob it in. I guess I expect Cretin to try to slow this game down, play more of a half-court disciplined ball game.
Well, absolutely, and as is typical of Cretin Hall basketball teams, they're very disciplined. They take care of the ball, they don't turn it over, they play very good team defense, and they're very well balanced on offense. You know, they're not afraid of these games. It looks like it's an overmatch, but Cretin Hall comes in and, you know, they're dangerous. I mean, they're 14-4 overall, like you said, 6-2 in the conference. They have an opportunity to go play in the Minneapolis-St. Paul Twin City game. I'm looking forward to a very exciting matchup.
It really should be a great game. And, you know, talking about Cretin being a very well-disciplined team, Highland, on the other hand, one of their weaknesses or things that they're concerned about is the fact that they are making too many turnovers in a game. And that might be something that Cretin's going to try to really take advantage of tonight. On the other hand, for Highland, you know, they have the size advantage. They might be a little more athletic, and they're going to try to take advantage of that as well and really take advantage of the fact that Cretin doesn't have the size to really contend with some of the post players for the Scots down low.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim, you and I did a game the other night over at Arlington High School, and there was a record broken there. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
It was a great game the other night between Arlington and Harding, and Steve Priestley was able to break the city conference record that was held, I believe, by Tom Morris of Highland Park. And Priestley was able to get 21 points in that game, and according to our stats, he's now at 1,557 conference points. And so that was a great night for him as well as the St. Paul City Conference.
Yeah, and that was a really exciting game. Arlington was down early and was able to battle back and get themselves into the game. I certainly hope that we can have as entertaining of a game tonight as we did that night over at Arlington.
I would agree.
And I believe now we are going to honor the United States of America. Well,
maybe not.
I think we had
right
a little
now.
trouble with the, I don't think the band showed up and the recorder didn't work.
Okay.
So we're getting ready to get underway. Again, we'll go through the starting lineups for you. For Cretin-Derham Hall, Walter Bowser, Andy Fleming, Joe Maurer, Nick Thompson, and Jimmy Krieger. For the Highland Park Scots, Terrence Stokes and Maurice Hargrove at the guards. Matthews, Wingo, and Miley to round out the starting lineup.
As long as we have a second here, Coley, I'd like to take this opportunity to let all 8th grade boys basketball players know that we're looking at the 1999 8th grade St. Paul All-Star game that is being held April 7th through the 9th at St. Paul Arlington High School. The game will be televised live on SPNN on April 9th, and we're looking for the best 8th grade hoopsters in the area. You'll be able to go to the gym, show off your stuff, and if you have any questions or need to talk to somebody about that, pick up an application. You can call Christopher Oley or Kevin Wolf at Arlington High School, and that number is 293-6900, extension 6270.
Yeah, what an exciting deal for the young kids to be able to get out and get on SPNN. And again, this is a live broadcast of SPNN Sports. Great opportunity for high school athletes to strut their stuff on television. I'm Coleman McDonough with my partner Tim Williams, and we welcome you here to Highland Park. Just about ready to get underway here. The officials for tonight's game are Billy Hafner and Tom Houle.
Just a quick word about the last time these two teams met, Coley. Highland was able to win. I believe the score was 64-50, but much closer game than the score may indicate. I know that it was a close game all the way through 3 quarters, and I believe Highland Park had a fairly large advantage in scoring in the 4th quarter, and that was really the story of the game, was the 4th quarter. So we really expect to have same type of game through all 4 quarters tonight between these two teams.
And again, I think the keys to tonight's matchup, Highland Park needs to get going and get running up and down the floor. They need to get Wingo involved. They need to get Terrence Stokes involved. And as you had mentioned earlier in regard to Cretin possibly packing in a zone, then you leave Stokes open, and he can hit it deep.
That's right.
Maybe not quite as deep as Priestley, who hit one from about 50 in the game against Arlington.
That is true.
But he can light it up. We're just about ready to get underway here.
That's exactly right. And I know talking before the game, coach for Cretin said he was only worried about 5 or 6 players from Highland. Yeah. So nothing really to worry about there, huh?
Wingo and Krieger to jump it. Control Hargrove, Highland Park. Hargrove drives the left side. Dishes to Matthews. Matthews with an 8-footer. That's good for 2. And the Scots lead 2-0. Bowser for the Raiders up the right side. Thompson on the top. Krieger. Krieger back to Thompson. Thompson in the corner, stolen by Matthews. Retrieved by Maurer. Andy Fleming in the corner to Bowser. Bowser on top of Thompson. Looks to take a 3. Drives to the side. Stolen away by Wingo. Wingo to Stokes.
Early in the game, both teams are starting out tough man-to-man defense.
Hargrove looking inside. Miley. The lob pass picked off by Maurer. No numbers for Cretin. Andy Fleming takes it to the hole. Up and the game is tied.
Nice move by Andy Fleming. Didn't look like he really had the angle there, but he was able to use the glass and kiss that one in.
Hargrove sets for Highland. Stokes at the top. In their zone, and Miley inside. Puts it up off the rim, no good. Tip by Ringo. And a bucket. Power up the left side. Good guarded by Matthews. Krieger. Thompson looks inside to a flashing Bauer for a bucket. Nice cut.
Beautiful cut, Coley. One of the things we're looking at is Cretin is trying to front the post players for Highland. And last time they were able to get good defensive pressure on that side, but Wingo came free for the tip.
Matthews in the corner looking for Miley. Oh, we got a foul. Thompson picks up his first with a hold on Miley. 5:52 left to go in the first quarter. In this in-town rivalry here, these schools located not too far apart.
Not very far at all.
Matthews to inbound to Stokes. Stokes for three. Off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound Miley. Looking for somebody, goes to Hargrove. Hargrove inside, and a bucket. Now with the ball up the left wing. Thompson to Bowser. Krieger on the left wing, to the top to Mauer. Mauer swings it to Thompson. Back to Bowser. Knocked away, loose ball. Hargrove on the floor to get it, picked up by Stokes. No call, they got to travel. I think that was a good no call.
Yeah, it probably was, and we could really see the speed and the quickness of the Scots on that particular play down the court. That really might give Cretin trouble, as well as the presence down low for Highland.
That Stokes is quick, boy. Andy Fleming. He and Mauer exchange passes. Swing, Thompson. Check that Krieger. Thompson for three. Off the rim, no good. Rebound by Hargrove. Hargrove, no numbers. He pulls it out. Inside to Miley. Miley. And a foul. Count the basket. Fouls on 43. Jimmy Krieger, I believe that's his second.
Coley, one of the young guys we want to really keep an eye on today for Cretin is number 35, Joe Mauer, a 6'2" and only a sophomore, and in the starting lineup for the Raiders. Probably a great thing that coaches are looking at for in the future. A lot of experience at the varsity level, and that could really be something that'll benefit him later on.
Miley converts a three-point play. A host of changes for the Raiders. Number 40, Joe Zachary in the game. Along with Joe Schmidt. Mike O'Hara down underneath. For three, short off the rim by Schmidt. Zachary with the ball. By Hargrove, and a bucket.
Cretin's really trying to be very slow and methodical in their half-court offense. Just haven't been able to get anything going to the basket to this point, and Highland's quickness has really paid off.
Zachary at the top. Thompson. O'Hara looking for somebody to go to. Back pick, no good. Battle down low. Good job, control Cretin Hall. 33, Winston Bell checks in the game for the Raiders.
I think this is really going to be something that Cretin wants to do all night, is just throw fresh legs at Highland, try to wear them out, be in the game in the fourth quarter.
O'Hara down low, tried to get it in, picked off by Hargrove again. Here goes Hargrove, 1-on-2. Can't control. Cretin Hall ball.
Maurice Hargrove's doing a great job getting his hands in the passing lanes, breaking up interior passes as well as everything out on the perimeter tonight.
Steve Zachary with the ball on the right side. On the top. Swing over to Schmidt. Schmidt down low. Back into Zachary. He puts up a shot. It's blocked. Gets his own rebound. Throws up another one. Rebound by Hargrove. Officials are letting them play. Stokes with the ball. Right side to Miley. Miley with a lob. The Wingo. No good. Tried for the alley-oop, and it was just a little bit deep.
Just barely missed that one. That would have been entertaining for the crowd here.
Schmidt with the ball to Zachary. Zachary swings. A three-pointer. No good. Rebound by Fleming. Fleming goes up and he's fouled. Fouls on Maurice Hargrove.
Cretin almost looks tentative at this point tonight. Would you agree, or
yeah,
is that?
I don't know really what the deal is. They're having a tough time getting into their offense. I think part of the problem is the fact that Highland Park's so big inside. Fleming misses the first.
Play it, guys. One.
And he misses the second with a rebound. Hargrove. Up the right side. Stokes breaks to the back, but Hargrove doesn't see him. Here comes Matthews. Matthews with one from the free throw line. No good. Rebound Hargrove.
And one.
No! Couldn't get it to fall.
It was Mark Wingo on that one with the putback, or the attempted putback, but he was able to get the foul on the Raiders.
Fouls on Winston Bell. His first personal, team's third. Mark Wingo at the line. Shoot a pair.
Looks like Walter Bowser for the Raiders is ready to check in again.
Cretin Hall's a very young team.
Yeah.
They start, what, 4 juniors and a sophomore.
Yeah, very young and very promising for the future of this program. Not that they're scraping along at this point.
Oh, 14-4 is not a bad record.
Not at all, but a lot of promise for the coming season for the Raiders.
Zachary looks to take it inside. Ooh, Miley with a big stop. Might have drawn a foul there, but no call. Stokes dribbles it out. Covered by Schmidt. Oh, nice play by Zachary. Up to Schmidt. Schmidt down the right side. He's going to pull up. Oh, and they give him a three.
Looked like his toe was on the line, but the back official thought he was behind it.
I think they only gave him 2, though. One official called it a 3, and the other one called it a 2. I saw the foot on the line, and it was a 2. I think that's what they gave him. Score 13-6.
Yep,
just under 2 minutes to go in the
it.
first quarter. Oh, they did change it. They changed it back to a 3.
Cretin is really extending the man-to-man defense, putting a little more pressure in Highland Park at this point.
Schmidt to cover Stokes. He picks up his dribble, looking inside to Miley. Miley with the ball, cutting Stokes. Oh, what a block by Zachary. Nice block down low. Zachary for 2, no good. Off the rim, rebound Miley.
Miley's really been able to control on both ends of the court, offensive and defensive rebounds at this point, and Cretin might have to try to crash those boards a little bit harder.
Ooh, foul by Joe Schmidt. Picked off on Matthews. Miley's a big kid, holy cow.
Yeah, he really is, 6'8" junior. He's another kid that we're going to look for next year. He's probably could grow a couple more inches.
God, holy cow. Courtney Bivens checks into the game for the Scots. Number 43, transfer from Como Park High School. We're seeing more of that these days.
Yeah, you really are. With this open enrollment, kids are starting to move a little bit more, and you know, from one season to the next, a lot of different teams and different looks.
Why do you suppose that is, Tim?
Well, I think a number of reasons. I think if you look at a Cretin Durham Hall and the success that they've had through their many programs, success breeds success. And I think kids really want to be a part of something special and really want to be a part of a successful team in different areas. And not just the Cretin Durham Halls, but you're seeing that all around the state and in the city conference as well.
Diaz Cruz in the game for the first time for the Scots. He's got the ball. Swings it to Hargrove. Hargrove being guarded by Bowser. Ooh, he puts one up and it's foul.
Looks like there's a little bit of chatter down on the court by some of the players. You can tell the intensity of this game already and what's on the line.
Under a minute to go in the first quarter. Live from Highland Park. This is an SBNN sports broadcast. Highland Park Scots lead the Cretin Durham Hall Raiders 13-6. Hargrove misses the first one. Second one's long. Bivens with the rebound, but taken away by Thompson, who's back in the game with 2 fouls. Steven Zachary with the ball on the left side. To penetrate. For cutting Joe Schmidt. Schmidt in the corner. He goes baseline on Stokes. Knocked out of bounds. Controls Cretin Hall.
Good quick hands down low for the Scots in that one. Schmidt was able to get penetration right away on the baseline, and they closed that off fairly quickly.
Bowser to inbound. Zachary, little 8-footer, that's good.
Right over Wingo, and that's a tough shot to make.
Full court pressure being applied by the Raiders. Looking to get it to Stokes. On the left side to Stokes. Oh, as he's quick down the side.
Yeah, he is.
Get it into Bivens. Bivens knocked away by Thompson. Bowser with the ball. Up to Zachary. Zachary pulls one up. Off the rim, no good. Rebound by Schmidt. He gets it off. And it's good. And the score is 13-10. Oh, off the back iron, that last shot.
And that one was good if it went.
So at the end of the first quarter, the Highland Park Scots 13, the Cretin Hall Raiders 10.
Well, I'll tell you what, this sure is a great atmosphere to be in. The gym is a little bit older, but as far as just having some atmosphere, the stands go all the way down right to the floor, and crowd is really right on top in the game, and it's probably a great advantage for the crowd and as for the teams as well, because the crowd's right behind you and right on top of you, and it really can make a fun atmosphere.
Oh, certainly. I got a feeling the crowd's going to get a little louder as the game goes on. I think maybe if we get a dunk or two.
That's right.
We saw over at Arlington, Brandon Johnson and Terrence Dobson got a couple throwdowns. The crowd went absolutely crazy.
Yeah, we just missed one earlier in the game with the alley-oop to Wingo. It's just a little bit behind, so he couldn't put it down. But I think if we get something like that in this game, it's going to be a pretty animated and excited crowd.
Okay, we're going to start with Bowser, Fleming, Maurer, Thompson, and Krieger for the Raiders. Hargrove, Stokes, Diaz, Cruz, Wingo, and Bivens for the Scots. Thompson puts it up, no good. Rebound by Wingo. Wingo outlet to Stokes. Stokes down in the corner to Diaz, Cruz. Stokes controls in the corner to Diaz, Cruz. Cruz looks to drive. He's double, puts up a shot and knocks it down.
Certainly looked like traveling on that last one by Diaz Cruz, but I guess a little hop step that they're getting away with these days doesn't count.
Bowser, ball on the right side, and he draws a foul from Hargrove. Seems like there's a lot of contact in tonight's game so far.
Yeah, there is. These kids are really into this game, and they know what's at stake here and what's on the line.
That's Hargrove's second personal. Maurer to inbound for the Raiders. Into Fleming. Fleming to Bowser. Krieger for three. Good!
That's really going to help the Raiders out if they can get some outside shooting to loosen up that tight man-to-man defense that the Scots are in.
Stokes off a pick from Hargrove. Looks like a little pick and roll here. Stokes with the dead dribble. Knocked away. Oh, and we got a violation.
I'll tell you what, Cole, this has been a real quiet run by the Raiders. You take a look up at the scoreboard, and all of a sudden it's a 2-point game again. And, you know, first quarter they were down at times 7, 8 points, and they're right back into this game. And obviously we're at Highland Park, so the crowd wasn't into it as, you know, like if we were at Cretin, but it was a real quiet run that put the Raiders right back into this game.
And Coach Portis takes a 20-second timeout for the Scots, maybe settle them down, kind of give them an idea what they want to do offensively. Looked like, I mean, they got to go down low.
Yeah, I think so. And I think we're going to see Thomas Miley right back into the game, and I think that's going to be Highland's plan, is to pound down low with Miley and Wingo.
Raiders to inbound. Maurer into Bowser. Maurer on the right side. Cretin cutting, but missed him. Thompson, down low to Schmidt. Schmidt takes it strong to the basket and draws a foul. That might be an advantage. If there's any size advantage on the floor for Cretin Hall, it's Schmidt against Stokes.
That's right. I was just going to say they might want to try to take advantage of posting Stokes up down low, because he's not going to be able to put a big body on anybody, push him off the blocks, and be able to defend him.
Schmidt converts the first. The second one, no good. Rebound by Miley. Stokes takes it to the hole, all the way to the rack for a bucket.
Now that was a nice quick move on top. Just was able to blow past.
Howard to Fleming. Brings the ball to the front court. Guarded by Cruz. Going to the Mauer. Mauer drives inside. Thompson swings. Krieger. In and out. No good. Rebound. Underneath the Mauer. Mauer goes up strong and he gets the roll.
I was going to say over, but that was almost an underneath of Miley, and he was able to go up strong, put that one in for two.
Stokes on the right side to Cruz. He looks to drive inside to Miley. Miley with a one dribble, and he gets it in.
Something the Raiders are going to have to contend with all night, just the down low presence of the height of the Scots.
Bowser for three. Off the rim, no good. Rebound by Hargrove, stripped away by Mauer. Mauer goes up strong for the layup and a bucket. No call underneath. Could have been a three-point play. Just under 5 minutes to go here at Highland Park, and the Scots lead the Raiders 19-18.
This is the type of game we really expected. End-to-end action. A lot of pride on the line for both these teams tonight.
Oh, looks like we got a foul away from the ball. Nick. Is that on Nick Thompson?
I believe it was. I think he and, I don't know if it was Wingo or if it was Cruz who were fighting for position down low.
Hargrove back in the game for the Scots. On the top, guarded by Schmidt. He drives. Ooh, blocked by Schmidt. Krieger. Off a screen for three.
In and out.
No good. Fleming. Good. Excuse me, Joe Schmidt from three. And the Raiders have their first lead at 21-19 with just over 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Now that's something else Cretin's going to be able to do tonight.
Out of bounds, controlled Cretin.
If Krieger can get outside, he might force Wingo to come out and guard him as well.
So with 4:07 to go in the first half, the Raiders hold a 2-point lead.
Chance for Cretin to get settled down and to really put their offense together as well as their defense. They climbed right back into this game, took the lead.
Well, what do you think? What did Cretin Hall do to get back into the game?
Well, a couple things. I think Miley was on the bench for a rest for a little while, and that really got him started on that run. They started to hit some outside shots, and that's really gonna loosen up the Scots, make them come out and defend them and push their defense out a little bit. But they're doing exactly what we expected them to do. They've slowed it down. They've played very disciplined half-court offense, and really are going to try to wear Highland down through the night with their numbers.
Schmidt with the ball in the front court. He drives right side, pull-up jumper, off the rim, no good. Loose ball, kicked out. Picked up. Krieger drives inside, underneath, layup for a bucket. He went right around Miley.
Yes, he did. That was a great move by Krieger on that one.
Hargrove on the corner, guarded by Krieger. Now Mauer. James Bradford in the game. He swings it to Stokes, and he buries the three.
And once again, he was a little farther out on that three-point shot.
Schmidt into the front court. Nice pick inside by Thompson. Gets the give and go. Picked up by Stokes. Oh, he picks up the foul. Nick Thompson with the foul.
We got a replay of that three-point shot on that one, and as you could tell, he was a step or two beyond that three-point arc and just buried it.
As Dan Patrick would say, nothing but the bottom of the net. Looks like Highland Park is in the bonus.
One-on-one.
One for Stokes. In and out. O'Hara with the rebound.
Highland Park has missed a couple of foul shots tonight, and they're really going to have to capitalize on those.
Krieger, a backdoor cut to Maurer, inside for a bucket. Nice little back pick and a bucket.
Beautiful play by the Raiders on that one. At the cutter all the way into the basket for an easy layup.
Tell you who we haven't heard from. From the corner. James Bradford, his first bucket of the game.
I think Highland's going to have to get Mark Wingo involved a little bit more in this game.
Haven't heard much from him. Maurer to Schmidt. Schmidt to Krieger. Krieger with a swing from Maurer. Maurer, 16-footer, in and out, gets his own rebound, goes up, off the back iron, no good. Rebound by Miley. Outlet to Stokes. Stokes a long pass to Hargrove. Oh, he tries to give it to Wingo and it goes off his leg. Wingo's not involved in the offense right now for the Scots.
No, he's not. And on that one, that's something that Coach Portis was talking about before the game. They really need to capitalize on turnovers and not make as many mistakes.
Well, because Cretin Durham Hall does not make very many mistakes. So when they do, the Scots have to capitalize.
That's right.
Maurer with the ball on the right side to Krieger. Krieger looking down low. Swing to Fleming. Fleming. O'Hara to Schmidt. Fleming for two. Rebound. Nice tap up, but no good by O'Hara. Hargrove for three. Off the iron, no good. Rebound by Miley. Miley looks to a cutting Hargrove.
Nice look inside. It's a great look inside by the MIG man to see Hargrove coming down the lane on that cut.
Just under a minute and a half remaining in the first half. Highland Park regains the lead, 26-25 over the Cretin Durham Hall Raiders. Krieger with the ball inside to Joe Schmidt. Schmidt throws one up off the glass. Oh, and it goes in. Holy cow. Looked like that went off the top of the backboard.
Yeah, certainly. I don't think he could do that again if he tried.
Oh, loose ball on the floor, and it's a tie-up. Possession goes to Highland Park. Steven Zachary and Walter Bowser to check back in for the Raiders. They give Krieger and Schmidt a rest.
Walter Bowser looks like somebody who can really put a body on somebody down low. Maybe on Wingo, tried to force him out of the blocks, but he is certainly put together.
Hargrove for three. Off the rim, no good. Rebound, Zachary. Bowser on the right side. Ooh, tough pass. Almost falls down. Bowser to Fleming. O'Hara on the top. Picks up his dribble. Bowser controls. Looks like Cretin Durham Hall might hold for the last shot. Dead in the corner. Zachary down low. Little flip inside for a bucket. Andy Fleming. Nice cut to the basket. Stokes. To Hargrove. Clock winding down. Oh, and Hargrove dribbles it off his
right
foot.
off his foot.
With 5 seconds left in the first half, Cretin Durham Hall get one last chance. You're going to bring Schmidt in for Maurer.
Sure, Cretin's looking at possibly trying to set up a three-point play here for the last shot of the game.
took it to the rack and scored, but Billy Hafner calls the charge inside. I think it was a good call by the official.
I agree, and I think Schmidt surprised everybody by taking it all the way to the bucket. I thought he would probably pull up or at least try to dish it to somebody sitting outside to try to hit the three-pointer at the end of the half.
So at the end of the first half, Cretin-Derham Hall leads the home team, the Highland Park Scots, 29-26. This is SPNN coverage of boys high school basketball. I'm Coleman McDonough along with my partner Tim. Tim, what'd you see in the first half?
Well, a lot of what we expected. I think Highland came out, tried to set the tempo early with going down low to some of their big men and take advantage of that height that they have. At the same time, Cretin, I think, really tried to work their half-court offense. It looked like they were a little tentative early on in the game. Had some good looks, just couldn't put the shots down. But they played a very disciplined half and didn't make many mistakes, and they took advantage of some of the mistakes that Highland made. I don't think Highland had a terrible amount of mistakes, but the ones that they did make, Cretin was able to take advantage of.
So what do you see happening in the second half as far as what does Cretin-Derham Hall have to do to maintain this type of, to maintain their lead and to go on to win this game and potentially then obviously go to the Twin City game against Minneapolis North?
I think if they come out and play like they did into the second quarter, we talked about beginning of the game, I think they needed to get warmed up a little bit and get the feel of the game. If they come out hot right away and really into their offense, this is really going to be a tremendous game for the rest of the way.
And as far as Highland Park, I would say, from looking at it, Mo Hargrove did a nice job. He had some steals early in the game. Terrence Stokes got a little bit involved. He hit a three. But the name we really didn't call, Mark Wingo.
Mark Wingo, that's exactly right. I think he might have had one putback early on in the half, but he needs to be more involved, I think, for Highland. I think as far as Highland was concerned, Thomas Miley did a real nice job, had a couple buckets, a lot of good rebounds, but they need Mark Wingo to score. He's their leading scorer and, the leader on the floor for him, and he needs to get more involved.
We have the Highland Park Scots dance line doing a little halftime entertainment. Again, we are live SPNN Sports at Highland Park High School in St. Paul. Little across-the-road rivalry with the Cretin-Derham Hall Raiders. The Raiders lead at the half, 29-26, sparked by a second-half comeback, if you will. They were down early, 11-4. They came back in the second quarter, played some real outstanding defense. And I think that was another key, is part of the reason that maybe Mark Wingo's not involved in the offense is due to Cretin-Derham Hall's defense. Yeah,
and I really think that both teams came out, tried to be physical, set the tempo right away, and that carried on through the first half. And I think Cretin might be able to take advantage of that type of game because of their depth and looking at, the number of players that they ran out on the floor in the first half and how well balanced they were in their scoring. And it looks like we're going to get some halftime statistics at this point right now. Looking at Highland Park, Maurice Hargrove had 6 points for the Scots. Terrence Stokes had 5. James Bradford 2. Joseph Matthews 2. Jamel Diaz-Kurz 2. Mark Wingo only 4 points, one of the keys that we talked about, and Thomas Miley with 5 points. Flipping over, looking at the Cretin-Derham Hall Raiders, Joe Schmidt had 9, nice half for him. Andy Fleming had 5. Winston Bell had 2. Joe Mauer had 8, it looks like, and Jimmy Krieger had 5.
And now we're going to go to an interview with Jay Cornelius and the Highland Park coach, Mr. Portis.
Jay Cornelius here, standing with Coach Portis of the Highland Park Scots. Now, this is a big game for you, right?
Yes, it is.
And
huge game because, implications of who will win the city. If we would win, we could control our destiny. We would win the city conference outright, and if they should win, we would be in a three-way tie, and we would like to not be in a three-way tie. We want to share that, yeah.
And you met once before already this year, and you were the victors in that game. What are you going to do to maintain that style of play here tonight?
Well, my philosophy has always been you simplify the offense and intensify the defense, and I think that would win success for us. If we can come out and play a good defensive game, I think we have a great chance to win this game. But if not, Cretin possess great shooters. That we can't get a hand in their face or get out or put pressure on them, they will be successful because they can shoot the ball.
Who are your key players that we should look out for tonight?
Our point guard, Terrence Stokes. With Terrence, if he's having a good night, then we feel good about that because he opens up so many avenues for us. Inside, we're going to look to Mark Wingo. Mark Wingo is our best low post player, and if we can get those two guys going, we think we have a great chance.
And who are you afraid of on their side?
The whole team, to be fair, I mean, to be exact, they're just a dangerous team. I know Cretin coach type team. They improve with time. As the season go on, they get better and better and better. So I'm looking for them to play a good game. And I tell you, I'm nervous about the whole thing. I was nervous when I came in the locker room. We prepared very well, but they're dangerous. They all can shoot the ball, and they're going to play. They're going to set good screens, good picks. And they're going to protect the ball. They're not going to turn it over. They're not going to make mistakes. They don't shoot themselves in the feet.
Coach Portis, thank you and best of luck.
Thank you.
That was Coach Charles Portis of the Highland Park Scots in a previously taped interview right before the game. I think he made some interesting remarks that kind of held true for the first half of the game.
Yeah, he really did. Talking about the entire Raider basketball team being able to shoot the ball well. One of the other things that he brought up was that Cretin sets very good picks and sets very good screens for back cutters, as you know, throughout the entire floor. And we saw that early on, and it carried through the first half.
Yeah, we saw a couple of baskets. We had Maurer cut to the basket on a back pick for a bucket. I think Joe Schmidt had one like that. And you know what? Obviously, teams have their strengths and their weaknesses. One of Cretin-Derham Hall's strengths is their half-court offense. They're able to run their half-court offense. They understand the offense.
Okay, at this point, we're going to go to an interview with Cretin's coach at this time. And
Jay Cornelius.
Yes.
Here with Coach McKee from the Cretin-Derham Hall Raiders. Now, you've met once before already this season, and Highland Park won. What are you going to do differently today?
Well, they got a nice team. They got a really good balance. They got kind of all the pieces for a good team, and we're just going to get after it as hard as we can. Nothing, no magic strategy involved.
Okay. Who are your key players, and what do you expect for them to do for you
We
tonight?
have an interesting team. We've got nobody that scores, 20 points a game like a lot of the good teams around the state. I think we're a good team. We've about 7, 8, 9 kids that all contribute, and no one's averaging more than like 10 points a game. But we play real well together, and that's kind of been our strength. So we'll stick with that.
Are there key players on their side that you're going to look out for?
Only about 5 or 6 of them. Their post players are real tough. Of course, Miley's a big kid and strong, and their perimeter players can shoot it. So they got, like I said, they got a good balanced team. Stokes is a good shooter from the outside, real quick. He can penetrate, and well, we got our hands cut out. But this is a kind of fun game for us, and it's the kind of game you want to be in. I mean, we like playing these kind of games. So
it's an important game, and best of luck to you.
all right,
Thank you very much.
thanks.
Okay, we are back live here, Highland Park. That was a previously taped interview with Coach McKee of the Cretin-Derham Hall Raiders. Just a couple minutes here before second half tip-off. Highland Park trails the visiting Raiders, 29-26. And at this time, I'd like to make a little pitch for our 1999 8th grade All-Star game. I'd like to welcome all St. Paul 8th grade boys basketball players. This year's St. Paul All-Star game will be held and sponsored by Arlington High School. The best 8th grade hoopsters in the area will be able to strut their stuff on live television. The game will be televised live on SPNN on April 9th. If you're playing for any 8th grade boys team during the 1998-99 season and you're interested in competing with the top players in the city, please feel free to call or mail an application to the All-Star game, care of Christopher Oley or Kevin Wolf at Arlington High School. The address is 1495 Rice Street in St. Paul, Minnesota 55117. And the telephone number is 293-6900, extension 6270.
And I'd like to also point out that applications are due no later than February 26th. So we really only have a couple days left for all the 8th grade kids out there to get those applications in, or at least get a hold of Coach Ole or Mr. Wolf and take care of that.
Okay, so we're just about ready to get the second half underway. I would imagine our starters will be the same. Stokes, Hargrove, Matthews, Wingo, and Miley for the Scots. Bowser, Fleming, Maurer, Thompson, and Krieger for the Raiders. That is, in fact, the starting lineup for the second half. Cretin-Derham Hall to inbound. And the second half is underway. Maurer with the ball. Andy Fleming. Maurer directing a little traffic here. Left side to Krieger. Krieger on top. Thompson. Krieger looks to penetrate, nothing there. Swings it back out to Fleming, down in the corner to Bowser. Cretin-Derham Hall taking their time with their half-court offense. Hargrove gets a tip. Cretin-Derham Hall maintains control.
Once again, Cretin's coming out very slow, methodical, and really trying to get into their half-court offense.
Inside. Oh, it looks like there's going to be a flip out. Swing to Bowser for three. Good!
Nice ball rotation that time by the Raiders, swinging all the way around to the open man for the three.
Down in the corner to Hargrove. Hargrove to Matthews. Matthews backing in. Little flip to... There it is.
Yep.
Wingo.
That's right. Nice high-low by Highland right away. Their first possession got Wingo into the game.
32-28 Raiders. Fleming, Thompson, and Krieger. Krieger off the screen from Thompson. Ball stolen away by Hargrove. Inside to Fleming, and he draws a foul on Stokes.
Once again, nice movement by the Raiders. Without the ball, they're able to set screens and slash to the basket. Haven't gotten a bucket yet, but they're working that half-court offense.
Very, very patient offensive style.
Yep.
Krieger guarded by Mark Wingo. Fleming and Bowser. Pick and roll. Almost stolen by Hargrove. Oh, Bowser thought about it long, but oh, he hits a cutting inside rebound. No good. Fleming couldn't find the handle on the rebound, missed the layup. Stokes controls for Highland Park. Stokes goes by Bowser, inside the Wingo. Turnover.
Coley, they didn't get it. They didn't get the basket that time, but I think Highland probably wants to get Stokes a little more involved. Maybe not scoring-wise, but using his quickness and speed to get to the basket to make a dish to a Wingo or a Miley. And I really think he had it that time, just a bad pass, and Wingo couldn't handle it, but that's a positive for the Scots.
Well, absolutely, because then you get to help defense,
Yep.
and when you get to help, somebody's open. Krieger on the left side, looks inside to Thompson, nothing. Inside to Zachary, Steven Zachary with a cutting bucket, another nice break to the bucket.
Yeah, beautiful backdoor play.
Just over 5 minutes left in the third quarter. The Raiders lead 34-28. Matthews looks inside the Wingo. Knocked out of bounds by Thompson. They're trying to go down low. I gotta imagine that's what Coach Porter said.
I'm sure he wants to get it in there. That time the entry pass was from a pretty bad angle, but at least they're trying to get it down to him.
Mo Hargrove from way deep. It's off the rim, no good. Strong rebound attempt. Oh, looked like it went off Zachary, but they called it off Wingo. That might have been in lieu of a foul.
Yeah, it might have been. It looked like Wingo might have climbed up on top of the back.
Almost a handoff. Yeah. I don't know if you can do that. Joe
Football
Schmidt.
season's over.
Yeah. Schmidt looks to penetrate. Oh, almost a dish. Mark Wingo picks it off. Oh, loose ball picked up. Oh, and it looks like a foul on Thompson.
That was anybody's ball for a couple seconds there at half court. Almost looked like a jump ball right at the half court circle as well.
John Madigan into the game for the Raiders. Stokes covered by Schmidt. Little shake and bake, little moving screen by Miley, not called. Corner jump shot, rebound by Zachary. Corner to Krieger. Krieger, little 12-footer, off the rim, no good. Rebound by Zachary. Guarded by Wingo, goes by him. Back out to Zachary. Krieger for three. In and out, no good. Loose ball. Thompson with a rebound. Knocked out of bounds, controlled Cretin-Derham Hall.
I tell you what, Cretin's really going to that bucket and scrapping for every board that they can get. It's paying off for them at this point.
I tell you what, it looks to me like they're just outworking the Scots right now.
Yep. And that possibly could be the fatigue factor that we talked about, because Cretin can throw 8-9 guys out there and really have fresh legs for the entire game. And Highland might be feeling that at this point.
Bradford and Lee check in for the Scots. No Schmidt, no good. Rebound by Steven Zachary. He goes up strong, a little 4-footer for the bucket.
Nice strong rebound and a good putback.
The lead is 8 for the Raiders. Just under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Cretin-Derham Hall leads 36-28. Bradford covered by Zachary, no dribble. Oh, and they got a foul.
Zachary didn't agree with that one, but he certainly was awfully close and tight on that one on Stokes. Was it Stokes?
I think it was Bradford.
Okay.
Winston Bell checks in to give Thompson a break. James Bradford inbound for the Scots. Hargrove looking to take it to the hole. Pull-up jumper. Front of the rim, no good. Rebound, Wingo knocked away. Controlled by Highland Park. Cretin-Derham Hall is not backing down to those big guys underneath the bucket.
No, they're not. Mark Wingo is trying to get involved every way that he can. He really went after that board.
Hargrove, he's looking to take it to the hole. The swing pass to Bradford. Bradford looks inside. Finds Stokes for three. Off the rim, no good. Knocked out of bounds. Oh, it's a loose ball. Picked up by Wingo, knocked away. Schmidt with the ball. It's 2-on-1. Stokes coming back. Ooh, knocked out of bounds. Control Cretin-Derham Hall.
Yeah, we're starting to get a little more end-to-end action here, and I think both teams are much looser here in the second half than they were to start the game.
Fleming to inbound under his own basket. Fleming, Bell, Zachary, Schmidt, and Krieger in the game for the Raiders. Oh, a little inside move. Oh, puts up a shot. Zachary draws a foul on Daniel Lee. You know who Daniel Lee looks like?
Who?
Lee, the kid from St. Thomas Academy. Matthew went out to, I think he went out to Bradley.
Yeah, he went somewhere out east.
I thought he went out to Bradley.
Or did he go to Northwestern?
No, I thought Javier Collins.
That's it.
Steve Zachary at the line. Oh, rolled off, no good. Bivens and Watson in the game.
One shot, let it hit, one shot.
Zachary makes the second, extends the Raider lead to 9. Hargrove with the ball. He pulls it out. Down low to Bivens, off his foot, no good. Joe Schmidt with the ball. Schmidt looking to push, knocked away. Loose ball, picked up by Stokes, Bivens controls.
Boy, Stokes really went after that one, did a nice job getting on the floor and corralling that loose ball.
Inside to Wingo, strong move. Wingo draws a foul. Krieger.
Yeah, and from the looks of it, Wingo's been looking for that call all night long down low.
Well, he's maybe getting a little frustrated because he's not touching the ball. But you know what? Situation like that, you just got to stay true to what you're doing. He's going to get his looks. It's going to come. Wingo at the line shooting 2. He had 4 in the first half. Season average is 18. Wingo, a 6'5" senior. Converts both free throws.
Mark is averaging 18 points a game and just about 8 rebounds. So great season for him his senior year. And like to go out conference champion and chance to play in the city or the Twin City Conference game.
Steven Zachary with the ball for the Raiders. Oh, he takes it right to the hole. Puts it up, no, block by. Foul by Winston Bell. Nice block by Wingo inside.
Yeah, it was great backside help. Might have gotten there a little bit late, but I think he knew he could get up and block that one off the glass.
Winston Bell at the line to shoot 2.
No, I think in the first half I made a mistake. I think I was referring to Winston Bell, and I think I said Walter Bowser being a well put together kid to be able to bounce somebody out of the block and move them out. Met Winston.
Oh, rebound inside. Home. The bucket, Mike O'Hara. And the lead's back to 9. Little flip pass to Hargrove. Ooh. Kicked out of bounds by Fleming.
That's right. Once again, if we were in the NBA, we'd have to reset the shot clock.
But once again, we're not in the NBA.
That's right.
Although you'd have thought by the one move inside early in the game, maybe the traveling rule had been applied.
Yeah, that's right.
Stokes with the ball. Oh, try to lob inside the Wingo. Wingo passed out low. Nice pass inside for the bucket. Joshua Watson, his first bucket.
That was a great inside look by Mark Wingo.
To apologize to Jeff Brown, I was calling Courtney Bivens. I don't know where I got that. Bowser on the left side, looking inside. Bell. Three-pointer. Oh, up and off, over the back.
Well, Cretin had one earlier that looked like it went up that high and came back in, but that one wouldn't roll back over for him.
You know, it's interesting how many different players for the Raiders will actually put the 3 up.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to shoot that ball.
That's right, and looking at the roster, no real true center. They come out with either 3 guards and 2 forwards or 2 guards and 3 forwards. So, and from the looks of it, Krieger's one of the kids who, you know, one of their taller kids, but he's been putting the ball up outside the arc as well.
Mauer checks in for Zachary. Bowser to cover Stokes. Raiders 39-32. Just over a minute remaining in the third quarter. Watson in the corner.
There it is to Wingo.
In the Wingo for the bucket.
It's interesting watching that one, Coley. He was calling for that ball ever since it went across the center court. He really wanted that one.
Ooh, we got a foul. Foul on Stokes. I think that's his 3rd.
Yeah, that could really hurt Highland if they get into foul trouble at this time. I don't think they're as deep as Cretin is, and you know they're already looking to possibly be a little tired. They can't afford to be in foul trouble.
Well, I think they're a little deeper big guys, but as far as their point guards go, Stokes seems to do most of the ball handling.
That's right.
O'Hara with the ball on top. Fleming to Bowser, to O'Hara. Bowser for 3! No good. Rebound inside, out of the way. Nice block by Joshua Watson.
I don't know if it was Joshua or Thomas Miley, but somebody certainly came down with a big club on that one.
Fleming to inbound. Maurer. Corner to Bell. Bell's going to put it out. No good. Rebound by Hargrove. Highland looks to run. Here comes Stokes. Stokes in for a bucket. And just like that, the lead is 3.
And they certainly got the crowd fired up and into this game now.
I think Cretin Hall could use a TO.
Or a quick bucket to quiet this crowd down.
Power to Bowser. Bowser with the last second shot, no good. Oh, looked like Mr. Hummel was about to call a foul at the buzzer there, and then he decided against it.
He almost did, and he probably could have.
So at the end of the third quarter, Highland Park cuts into the Cretin Hall lead, which was once 9 points, now just down by 3. Highland trails Cretin Hall 39-36.
We had a lot more action in that period, and it really looks like it's going to favor the Scots as far as getting this crowd into it, as well as getting themselves pumped up. We had some big plays, we had a breakaway, we had a couple big blocks. Those are the types of things that can help the Scots get back into this game.
Well, and not only that, they started to go down low to Wingo. They started to get
That's
a lob
right.
inside and get him involved in the offense. I think, you know, the question marks that they have is Stokes has got 3. They certainly don't want him to pick up his 4th early. But, I mean, the Scots are starting to go down low, starting to get it in.
Yep.
Hargrove's doing a nice job of ball handling. I think Miley's pretty much controlling the boards, at least at the defensive end.
Yeah, he certainly is. And interesting, one of the things that they were very successful coming out of the half and in their first possession was a high-low with Wingo and Miley, and you get Miley up on top and he takes away that double team, or at least the backside help from Wingo on the blocks down low.
Highland Park controls. Here's your high-low right here. Miley, one dribble to Hargrove in the corner. Watson. Stokes.
31 pushing.
Oh, they got a foul. Foul on Mike O'Hara. He and Miley are banging.
That's right. And they were coming right back to that high-low. I think it's something that can be effective for them because Cretin, that takes away their backside help in their defense.
Inbound to Stokes. Stokes to set up the offense. There's a pass to Miley. Miley takes it to the rack for a bucket. What a move for the big man.
That's right. He spun out of there looking almost like Shaquille O'Neal coming down the lane.
And the Highland Park lead, or excuse me, the Raider lead is trimmed to 1. O'Hara to Bowser. To Maurer. Maurer for 3. No good. Tap up, no good. Rebound by Hargrove. Excuse me, Wingo. Oh, got a foul. Looks like it could have been a steal.
Yeah, that one might have been a makeup as well.
Foul on Fleming.
Krieger's checking back into the game.
Highland Park tries to get it into Miley, but it's tipped away. Bowser. Maurer at the top. Set up their offense. Bowser looks down low. Inside. Nice little layup. Fleming. Another back cut.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like we're covering a Princeton game here tonight. Cretin running those back cuts.
Raider lead is 3. Miley. Ooh, he dropped the foul. I think they might want to let Miley have that.
Yeah, I think so too.
If he makes a couple, then you worry about it.
Although a couple minutes ago, you probably would have said they would have let Miley drive and on the layup.
That was a nice move by the big
It
guy.
certainly was.
Nice to see kids that are a little more one-dimensional. You know?
That's right.
I talked to Coach Portis. He said that he was going to use Miley as a point guard. I think. First one goes hard off the back of the rim. Winston Bell back in the game.
Speaking of kids who are more than one-dimensional, for Cretin, we have Joe Mauer out there. Interesting, they have a sophomore who's handling the ball quite a bit, making a lot of the decisions that, you know, for the Raiders and their offense on the floor.
Oh, stolen away from Mauer. He goes up and dunks it home. And the lead is now, oh, there is no lead. It's all tied up.
That's right. That's just what Highland Park needed to get this crowd really into it.
Bowser, Wingo, into the crowd, and Cretin-Derham Hall calls timeout.
Yeah, I think a good timeout by Coach McKee. He needs to settle this down, try to take the crowd out of it a little bit and settle his players down.
We'd like to get a replay of that last dunk by Hargrove with 6:01 left to go in the fourth quarter. Cretin-Derham Hall and Highland Park all knotted up at 41.
Everything we expected in this game, tied up, 6 minutes left, and conference championship, or at least a share of the conference championship, as well as the Twin City berth to that game is on the line.
Absolutely, Highland Park wins, and I believe they win it outright. And if Cretin-Derham Hall wins, there's a three-way tie.
That's right. Central gets into the mix with the Raider victory tonight. Now back to Joe Mauer, Coach. He had a bad play towards the end of that run by Highland that led to the Hargrove dunk, but really somebody who's making a lot of decisions, and I understand he's just a phenomenal athlete as well as a quarterback for the Raiders on their football team. And people are really talking about him as someone to keep your eye on this next fall.
Well, I think Cretin-Derham Hall, they've had a few good quarterbacks.
Yeah, one or
there.
two. They don't need any help at that position.
No, not at all. Thompson looks for a back cut in Mauer. He goes up strong and he gets the roll, and Cretin-Derham Hall leads by 2. Stokes to Watson. Watson looks to drive on Mauer. Oh, and he gets called for a travel.
That was a tough call for Highland, but looks like he got caught into that position and didn't have anywhere to go with the ball.
Bowser with the ball into the front court, looking into Winston Bell. Can't find him. On the left side. Fleming. Thompson to Mauer. Mauer drives baseline, looks to Bell. Bell inside against Wingo. Bowser for 3. Off the rim, no good. Rebound by Wingo when he draws a foul. You know who we haven't seen here in the second half is Joe Schmidt.
That's right. Hasn't been on the floor that much, if at all, for the Raiders. And
he had a lot of good minutes early in the first half. Sparked their a little bit of a comeback there. Highland Park is now in the bonus, so Wingo will go to line to shoot 1 in the bonus.
Highland Park's going to need to capitalize the rest of the way out and hit those foul shots.
Wingo converts 1 and get the bonus.
Keep your hands up, boys. Keep your hands up. Both teams, keep your hands
Not
up.
nearly as much substituting in the second half here as we saw in the first half.
No, there's really not by either team.
They're just kind of settling in.
Yeah.
Fleming to Bell. Fleming guarded by Hargrove. Bowser guarded by Stokes. Fleming on top. The wing to Mauer. Bowser inside to Bell. Back inside to Bell, guarded by Wingo. Almost thrown away. Thompson on the left side. Bell. Fleming. Very patient offensive set for Cretin-Derham Hall.
Right, taking a lot of time off on this possession.
Make Highland Park work on defense. Almost a 5-second call. Bell kicks it out to Mauer. Mauer with a pump fake, drives baseline. Shot going too far. Rebound by Thompson. Back to Mauer. All got a little bit out of there, forced one.
this time down for the Raiders, taking some clock off.
Oh, almost thrown away by Maurer. Swing to Bowser, down low to Bell. Bell against Wingo. They play catch. Inside, nice move by Winston Bell for the bucket.
That was a beautiful move. Knew he couldn't get over the top of Wingo, so it kind of went up and under and laid it off the glass.
Outstanding offensive set for the Raiders as they chewed up on over a minute of clock. Oh, a back-cutting Watson. One dribble inside, can't get it to fall, but draws the foul on Bell.
Once again, we're seeing Highland's choosing to go a little quicker. We have a replay here of that up and under. Just a beautiful move to kiss it off the glass and in for two.
Josh Watson at the line shooting two. He converts. Highland Park certainly making their free throws.
They certainly are. Something that we talked about earlier in the first half. They weren't converting on a couple and not taking advantage, and they've been doing it here in the second half.
And with 3:13 remaining in the game, Cretin-Derham Hall leading 45-44. Coach McKee calls a timeout. Watson still has one free throw to shoot and could knot it all up. We'll come down to crunch time here now, Coach. Cretin-Derham Hall certainly has exhibited the ability to hang on to the ball and move the ball and be methodical and look for a good shot.
Yeah, and I think they're deeper. Just being able to use their bench. Coach McKee might be a little more comfortable with some of his players if they get into foul trouble, and that might work in advantage for the Raiders. On the other hand, Highland Park is doing everything they've needed to do. They've come out in the second half. They've been using that high-low situation and to their advantage, and they're getting their big men a little more involved in the game.
Well, and I think what Coach McKee might be doing with that offensive set is just trying to wear them down on defense. Make them play defense so that they're tired when they go down on the offensive end. Watson makes the first and converts the second, and we're all knotted up to 45. There's Joe Schmidt back in the game. Schmidt, Zachary, Maurer, Thompson, and Krieger for the Raiders. Stokes, Watson, Hargrove, Wingo with a kick, and Miley for the Scots.
Now, we haven't seen a whole lot of substitutions in the second half for the Scots. Pretty much staying with their first five out on the floor.
Inbound. Pass out to Krieger. Maurer for three. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Huge shot once again by a sophomore. A lot of confidence in his ability to just can that one.
Raiders lead by 3. Hargrove, dead ball out to Stokes at the top. Stokes looks to penetrate. Drives in and draws the foul on Schmidt.
I think that was a real good move by Stokes. He knew the foul was coming. I think initially he was looking to pass it off. Once he felt the pressure, he got the shot up so he could go to the line.
Well, he was able to use his quickness, although Joe Schmidt was right there with him.
Yep.
But all things being equal, you know, good foul. Make him shoot 2 free throws.
That's right.
Easier to shoot a layup than it is 2 free throws.
Yeah, make him earn that one on the line.
Stokes will go to the line for 2. Chance to pull the Scots within 1.
Highland's moving much quicker on their offensive sets, and I think the Raiders are just attempting to slow it down and waste as much time or eat as much time as possible.
Matthews back in the game. He gives Watson a rest. Watson had some good minutes there in the 4th quarter. Stokes with the shot. Oh, the second one's no good. Rebound by Riley. Put back, and the game is tied at 48.
Huge offensive rebound by Miley.
Zachary with the ball into the front court. Guarded by Hargrove. On the wing to Krieger. Krieger looks for a cutting Maurer. Inside to Thompson. He doesn't want to take the shot. I don't know if they're looking for so many touches or what. Inside, strong, up by Krieger, and he draws the foul on Miley.
Highland Park's been having trouble with that backdoor cut by Cretin. Cretin's still running it. They're going to run it until Highland can stop it. Looked like Nick Thompson wasn't real sure of himself on that dish. Didn't want to put it up, so he did the smart thing and set the offense up again.
Krieger with 2 free throws. The first one's no good.
Well, we talked about Highland Park hitting these and taking advantage of them, and the same holds true for Cretin. Although it's only been one so far. They're not taking
Oh, good. Rebound off of Hargrove, or off of Wingo. Controlled by Cretin-Derham Hall. Good call by Billy Hafner.
Yeah, it really was. I don't think Mark Wingo agreed with it, but that was a good call.
Schmidt to inbound for the Raiders. Looks for Thompson. A swing to Maurer. Don't want to let him shoot.
No, he thought about that one too.
Schmidt guarded by Terrence Stokes. Inside to Thompson. Strong move inside. Oh! And he draws a foul on Miley. And he'll go to the line for 2.
And Miley isn't the only one who disagreed with that one. I think half the crowd here stood up and protested that one. Looked like it was a clean block from our angle. But that was tough to see.
Might have got him with the body.
Yep.
So Nick Thompson will go to the line with an opportunity to give the Raiders the lead. Ooh, and that's off the back iron.
Yeah, so far Highland Park's been making their foul shots. Cretin hasn't been capitalizing. That really could be a big part of this ball game in the last minute 52.
Absolutely. Free throws are key, and you know, to the young kids out there watching, free throws are something you got to do on your own. I mean, it takes up a lot of practice time in a lot of schools. They only have, 4 or 5 rims. It's tough to practice free throws, but as you see coming down the stretch now, Highland Park's been making theirs. Cretin-Derham Hall hasn't been making theirs. The score's all knotted up at 48.
That's right. Hard to tell if it's going to be a factor or a difference in the game, but at this point, Highland's been sinking the free throws just to tie the game. 3 times so far, Cretin's had the chance to take the lead, put themselves out, and on top at this time, and they haven't been able to capitalize.
Coach Portis takes a timeout, maybe to ice the shooter a little bit. 1:52 left in the game. Highland Park Cretin-Derham Hall knotted up at 48. This is SPNN sports coverage of boys varsity basketball here at Highland Park in St. Paul.
Great game to be involved in. St. Paul City Championship will be decided tonight.
Thompson with the second one. On the rim, rolls it in, and the Raiders lead by 1. Oh, and we got a foul on Zachary. He's holding Hargrove.
Zachary's been playing that type of defense most of the night. Just a little close on that one. He tried to get in Hargrove's front pocket.
Well, now we're going to the other end to shoot free throws. I tell you what, it looks like this is how it's going to be. Gotta make your free throws.
That is 100% true.
Hargrove at the line. He's shooting a pair. They're in the double bonus. First one off the back iron, no good.
He knew that one wasn't going to go in from the second it left his hands. Krieger coming back in for the Raiders.
Yep, Zachary sits down. Hargrove could tie it up with a make here.
Coach, if Hargrove ties it up, does Cretin look to...
And he does tie it up.
Does Cretin look to hold the ball, maybe go for the last shot with 1:50 left? It's an awfully long time, but they did it earlier in this quarter. They held it for that long.
Oh, knocked away by Hargrove. Looks like he gets a steal. And the bucket. And the Scots lead by 2. 51-49. 1:30 left in the game. Schmidt with the ball to Krieger. Krieger to Schmidt. To Thompson. To Fleming. Fleming kicks it back out to Krieger. Oh, and you pick up a foul. Foul on Hargrove.
And they're going to put the
Maurer.
sophomore on the line, see if he can hit the foul shot.
I don't know if Cretin's in the bonus or not yet.
That's right.
Oh, they are now. Looks like they're going to go to the line.
Now, is that on Hargrove or is that on Stokes?
I think it was on Hargrove.
Okay, Stokes is still sitting with 3, I believe.
No, he's back in the game.
No, but with 3 fouls.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. So the sophomore has an opportunity for 1 in the bonus. First one, nothing but net. How's that for cool?
I tell you, this kid is ice cold as far as cool comes.
Yes, Lord. Second one in, and the game is tied again at 51 with 1:11 to go. Both teams in the bonus. Matthews to throw it in, looking for Stokes. Oh, tipped away. Wingo picks it up. A lob, Fleming. Oh, and we got a foul.
Oh.
Who's the foul on?
That's a tough call to make.
Oh, the foul's on Fleming. I don't know about that, Coach. Holy cow.
That's a tough call to make. Ball's in the air. Both players are going for it. Both have a right to go get it.
Terrence Stokes, he's an excellent free throw shooter. Score tied 51-51. Stokes converts on the first one.
I'll tell you what, the other night we had just a barn burner over at Arlington. This one's going down to the wire the same way.
Stokes knocks down the second one. Highland Park calls timeout with 1:08 left in the game. The home team Scots lead the visiting Raiders 53-51.
I think Coach Portis wants to settle down his defense, make sure that everybody knows what they're doing, possibly make sure they talk about that back cut. And Cretin's had success with it, and I'm sure he wants to address that right now.
Well, I think Coach McKee wants to take advantage of this timeout to go over the different scenarios. Okay, if we score, okay, this is what we're going to do. If we don't score, this is what we're going to do. Who do we foul? I mean, if you're Cretin-Derham Hall and you come down and you don't get your bucket, who do you look to foul? I mean, Highland Park across the board has done a pretty good job at the free throw line. I think Hargrove may have missed one. Wingo's knocked all the ones down. I've seen him at the line.
Stokes just hit his too.
You don't want to foul Stokes, and you know he's going to have the ball.
Yep, that's right.
At the same time, Cretin-Derham Hall might look, hey, let's drive, kick it out, hit the three.
Yeah. Yeah, look for Maurer, possibly Krieger. He hit a couple earlier on in the game and hasn't been as involved the second half, and so he's...
Nice pick by Thompson on Stokes. He knocked him down. What a great screen. Maurer with the ball. Hatchet. Matthews trying to guard him. Oh, and we got a foul. Foul on Stokes. That's his fourth.
I'll tell you what, we're going to go back and forth on the line. Who's probably going to decide this game is shooting free throws, and it's Joe Maurer at the line again.
Boy, I can't impress enough to all you young kids out there watching this game. Here's the deal, 55 seconds left, down by 2. You got to make your free throws. You got to make your free throws. Looks like we got a wet spot on the floor. What a classic high school basketball matchup.
Yeah, it really is. Just taking a look around this gymnasium, a lot more people have come in as the game has gone on. It's a great crowd. Two schools real close together.
Bowser sits down for Zach, and I'm guessing we're looking at an offense-defense substitution here.
That's right. Zach has been playing great defense all night.
Again, the sophomore, and he's got the roll.
That's right, that shooter's roll gets it to crawl over the top of that rim.
Power to tie the game. It's all tied up, 53-53. 55 seconds left in the game. Matthews look deep, finds Miley. Back to Matthews, they finally get it to Stokes. Stokes guarded by Zachary. Wingo's kind of disappeared again. In the corner to Matthews. To Miley, lob to Wingo. Oh, no ball, no goal. Zachary had the ball with Wingo and he got knocked to the deck.
I think that's what Highland Park wanted. High-low into Wingo. Zachary was just able to have just a great hustle to get back there for some backside help.
39 seconds left. Scott's inbound underneath. Coach Portis called timeout.
Are you surprised Highland attacked right away? 39 seconds left at this point. Do you think they want to hold it for a little bit, or are they going to go right after it and try to score?
Well, I think you'd want to put Cretin-Derham Hall in a situation where they couldn't be patient on offense. So for them to hold the ball, but I mean, and particularly you're at home.
Yep.
Okay. You get it into overtime. I would say that the home team definitely has the advantage there. At the same time, Cretin-Derham Hall is kind of they're struggling a little bit offensively. So I mean, my deal is that you get a bucket, you take the bucket.
Yeah. Yeah, you take the bucket. I guess I would look for Highland maybe to try to run a couple seconds off this clock to put more pressure on the Raiders. Come down offensively, and you're not going to have time to get your offense set up, and that might throw them out of their game plan a little bit.
Well, the mismatch I see is Zachary on Stokes. I think Schmidt would be a better guy to be on Stokes right now. I think Stokes can utilize his quickness against Zachary if they can get him the ball. Long lob pass to Hargrove.
Oh, he's out of bounds.
And it's out of bounds. Out of bounds, Cretin-Derham Hall. They're under the floor, 38 seconds left. Costly turnover by the Scots.
That's right. That's one of the mistakes he talked about at the beginning of the game. They can't afford to do that.
Coach McKee's going to call timeout. Now, what do you think the Raiders are going to do?
I really got to believe now, especially Cretin being the visiting team, they're going to hold for the last shot or at least attempt to. Obviously, if they have a wide open layup, something like that, they'll take that. But I think they're not going to force anything right now. I think they're going to let their offense work and work a lot of time off the clock before they attempt a shot.
And I think what Coach Portis is saying is don't foul.
Yep.
Don't foul. Don't give them the free throws.
Or if you do, don't foul Maurer.
Yeah. He's hit 4 down the stretch. Matthews, Miley, Wingo, Stokes, and Hargrove for the Scots. Maurer, Bowser, Fleming, Krieger, and Thompson for the Raiders. 38 seconds to go. Score tied at 53. Fleming. To Thompson. Thompson to Maurer. Bowser guarded by Stokes. To Fleming. To Krieger. 18 seconds left. Bowser with the ball.
Getting down to crunch time now.
Thompson. 8 seconds left. Bowser looks to penetrate. Kicks it to the corner. And we're going to overtime. Going to overtime. All tied up at 53-53, folks. This is what it's all about.
That's right. Cretin did exactly what they wanted. They let their offense work. They worked the clock, had a shot. Krieger had a shot at the last second. Wasn't the best look. A little bit under pressure and just a huge block. I don't know who got that. Was that Miley who got that block?
I think it was Wingo.
Okay.
I don't know if we get a replay of that last second shot there. But, yeah, I think it was Wingo with the block. And you know what? Maybe a little body contact on that. I don't know. But you know what?
It'd be awfully tough to decide this game on that type of call with 1 second left.
Yeah.
I know we saw it at Arlington last week when Priestley was fouled with 6 seconds left from half court, but I think for the city championship, I just can't.
Let the kids play.
That's right.
Yeah, I agree. Very, very well played basketball game here. So we'll go to a 4-minute overtime. Cretin-Derham Hall and Highland Park.
Now does Cretin's depth come into play during this? Yeah, it was. Looks like it was Wingo. We just saw a replay there. Oh no, it wasn't Wingo at all. Wingo was coming from on top.
Must have been Hargrove.
Yeah, I think it was Hargrove.
Gonna have a jump ball. Wingo and Krieger. A tip picked up by Stokes. Highland Park controls to start the overtime. Hargrove, high-low to Miley in the corner. Matthews for 3, no good. Rebound by Maurer. He hasn't had that look too often.
No, he really hasn't. Cretin double-teamed on that high-low and left that open three-pointer.
Fleming guarded by Hargrove. Thompson. Very patient on offense, the Raiders are. Just over 3 minutes left in the extra session. Cretin-Derham Hall very content to be methodical in their offense. Reaching by Hargrove. Down low to Thompson. Krieger with a look. He doesn't want it. From the free throw line. Good! And the Raiders lead.
Nice move by Krieger.
55-53.
Beautiful head and shoulder fake to get his man in the air and step underneath it and can that.
Got a good look. Stokes looks to penetrate. Takes it all the way to the rack and puts it in.
Well, that's something we haven't seen all night from Stokes, using his quickness. And now might be the time that he brings that to this game.
Oh, let's see what he's got left in the tank. Bowser to Thompson. Oh, he looks inside. Couldn't get it to Fleming. Wingo guarding Thompson, or excuse me, guarding Krieger. Bowser looks inside to Fleming. Cretin-Derham Hall calls timeout with 2:20 remaining in the first extra session. Highland Park leads 55, or excuse me, scores all tied at 55-55.
That's right. So now back to the Cretin's depth. Does that come into play here? Is there just too much on the line here for the Scots at home with their crowd, city championship, where the adrenaline takes over and fatigue just isn't a factor?
Well, and I think I agree with that. And I think also what you see is that, you're at crunch time and you start to get a rhythm with the kids that are on the floor. The guys on the floor know what they're going to do. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of substitution. for Cretin-Derham Hall or for Highland Park. They're going to stay with the 5 guys that are on the floor, barring an injury or whatnot.
Yeah. Now, we don't have stats with us, but does Stokes have 4? Is that what I remember from the fourth quarter? And that might come into play.
Yeah, boy, if they lose him, that'd be trouble for the Scots.
Yeah, that'd be a big blow for them.
Thompson inside, looks, stolen away by Stokes. Stokes looks to take it the length of the floor. Fouled by Bowser, and Stokes will go to the line.
I'll tell you what, Darren Stokes been averaging just about 3 steals a game for Coach Portis. None could be bigger than that one, possibly.
Well, and he's been nothing but sweet at the line.
That's right.
I don't think a shot's hit the rim yet. I didn't mean to jinx him. I jinxed him. Coach for a second in the lead. It's good. Highland Park leads by 1. Fleming inbounds to Bowser. Fleming down in by Matthews. I think that might be a little bit of a mismatch right there.
Yeah, 4-3
advantage. Eric pass picked off by Wiley. Loose ball on the floor. Hardrow picks it up. Under 2 minutes to go. Highland Park with a 1-point lead. Stokes with the ball.
Tell you what, Cretin hasn't made many
Lob
mistakes
into
here.
Wingle. Pass. Corner to Matthews. That one almost got away. Hardrow on the top. Into Miley. Miley, 1 dribble, turn and look. Hardrow goes baseline. Shot up, no good. Tipped up by Wingo. He gets a rebound, and he makes a follow-away shot. A huge shot by Mark Wingo.
Certainly was. He just wanted that ball a little bit more than anybody else.
Knocked away by Highland. That could have been a costly turnover.
Certainly could. And talking about turnovers, Cretin really hasn't made, very few mistakes this entire game. Last time down the court on offense, they made one of their mistakes, and that was a crucial one at this point.
Well, I think it was Thompson putting the ball on the floor, and he hasn't done that much throughout the game. Fleming to Krieger. Swings it to Mauer for 3, and the tie, and the sophomore comes through again.
He is having just an absolutely fantastic game tonight.
Under a minute to go. Highland and Cretin-Derham Hall all locked up at 58. Stokes looks to penetrate, guarded by Mauer. In the corner to Matthews. Miley looking into Wingo. Power dribble. Shot. No good. Foul by Thompson. And Wingo will go to the line with 44 seconds left.
That's right. It's coming down to foul shots again, even in the overtime.
That's Thompson's 4th foul.
Here's
a replay of the 3-pointer by Mauer. Are you kidding me? The kid's a sophomore.
I know. I don't think I could walk and chew gum at.
Wingo's first attempt goes in and out. Schmidt in.
I don't think I could do that when I was a sophomore, and I know you could.
Thanks a lot. Wingo with a chance for Highland Park to take the lead. Second free throw is good. Scots lead by 1. Schmidt with the ball. 40 seconds left in the game.
I think Terrence Stokes is getting awfully tired of those picks.
Schmidt throws it away. Control Highland Park with 32 seconds left and a 1-point lead.
Timeout, Highland Park.
Highland Park calls timeout with 32 seconds left and a 1-point lead. Coach, what do you do?
Hard to say. 32 seconds is an awful lot of time, but I guess I would look to foul. If you don't get a steal on the inbounds or very shortly after the inbounds, I would start fouling at this point.
Who do you foul? Can't foul Stokes. You know he's going to have the ball.
I don't think you're going to foul Stokes, but you try to force it out of his hands. Maybe you double him on the inbounds. Don't let him get it on the inbounds. Make it go to, one of the other guys who doesn't handle the ball as well or as often as Terrence does, and go for an immediate foul on one of those players.
Well, Matthews hasn't been active offensively. I don't know what type of foul shooter he is. Maybe if ball gets in his hands, you foul him. Wingo missed 1 of 2, although
Yep.
Stokes did miss 1 of 2 as well.
That's right.
Cretin's in a situation where even if they foul and they make both, well, you just give it to Maurer and he knocks down the 3.
That's right. Maurer or Krieger. Krieger hit some earlier in the game that were awfully big shots, and you know, you look to come back to you know, have either one of those 2 for the 3.
Matthews to inbound for the Scots.
It's like Zachary's in to play defense on Stokes.
Long lob into Wingo. Wingo looks to get it to Stokes, almost thrown away. Stokes with the ball, dead ball. Oh, and it's almost stolen away, and it is! Here goes Zachary, 2-on-1. Little lob inside to Bowser. Rebound by Thompson. He puts it up. He can't get it to the ball. And with 17 seconds left, Thompson will go to the line for 2 and a chance for a tie or the lead. Holy cow, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta be kidding me. Holy cow.
Every time you think something's going to go according to plan or you know, according to what you think is going to happen, something
Crowd
new
is
comes
going
up.
crazy. Thompson at the line for 2. The first one is good and the score is tied. 17 seconds left. Some defensive substitutions. O'Hara in for the Raiders. Looks like Green Durham Hall called timeout on the make. Thompson for the lead. It's good, and the Raiders lead by 1. They call timeout with 17 seconds left.
Got to believe Highland's going to come back to Wingo down low, either Wingo or Stokes. I would have to say they've proven that they're their main players, their main scorers throughout the season. I got to think they're going to one of those 2. What about you, Coach?
Well, you know what I'd like, and I haven't seen it, but I'd like to see Stokes penetrate here.
Yep.
I mean, if I'm Coach Portis, I'm going to say, you know what? You're my best ball handler. You could take it to the rack. You've done it before. Maybe draw a foul.
Yeah.
They're only down 1, so it's not a situation where they're looking for a 3. But again, now, you have to talk about situations, scenarios, like we were talking about it the last time, what we thought Highland would do, and then all of a sudden there was a turnover.
Yeah.
What happens if there's a turnover? What are we going to do? Obviously, they got a foul right away. Both teams are in the bonus. For Cretin Durham Hall, don't foul.
Yep.
Don't foul. Make them shoot a basket and make a basket to win the game. At the same time, Stokes goes to the rack. You got to foul it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a tough call. You don't know what's going to happen.
If Stokes has a wide open layup or you know, free shot, they're going to have to try to foul them. But
Stokes with the ball, guarded by Zachary. A pick out high. Stokes going to the rack. He draws the foul. He draws the foul on Schmidt. And Stokes will go to the line with 8 seconds left as he gets a hug from his teammate Matthews.
exactly what we talked about, right into Stokes' hand. I don't think he looked to pass it. They set up a nice high pick up top around the key to free him, and he had only one place to go, and that was straight to the bucket.
Well, here you go, money time. 8 seconds left. Senior, opportunity to win the St. Paul City Conference title outright. The first one is good, and the score is tied. 8 seconds left. Cretin Durham Hall to do some substituting. 8 seconds still a long time.
That's right, certainly is, and it's still tight. Stokes has got to make one more to put Highland up on top, and we got a good possibility of a second overtime tonight.
Free throw the lead. Off the rim, no good. Zachary stolen away by Stokes. Ringo on the bucket. And the foul. The crowd is going crazy. Oh, what a turn of events. He missed the free throw. And the rebound came off. Wingo got a pass and scored.
Now we got fans on the court, but I think they're going to put at least 2 seconds back on the clock, possibly 3. I think it was Bill Hafer walk over towards the officials' scorers table. He had a 2 up, I believe, on his fingers, 2 or 3. They're going to put time back on the clock. This game isn't quite over yet.
Holy cow, are you kidding me? I wonder if we get a replay of that last one to see who made that pass to Wingo.
I think it was Stokes. I think he picked up the loose ball and was able to find Wingo underneath all alone.
Holy cow, just when you thought we were going to
double overtime. Now they're announcing how much time is left. I couldn't hear if she said 2 or 3.
I think she said 2 seconds left. But Wingo has an opportunity for a 3-point play, although at this point with 2 seconds left, Cretin-Derham Hall, that's about all they're going to get off of a 3-pointer.
You might want to intentionally miss this one to make Cretin, you know, at least if the ball's tipped around up there for a while, that could cause them, you know, a lot of problems trying to get off any type of decent look at a 3.
That's an interesting call there, Coach. We got a timeout on the floor with 2 seconds left in the overtime. Highland Park leads 62-60 on a putback off a turnover after a missed free throw by Stokes. Stokes had an opportunity to win the game. Looks like they put 3 seconds up on the clock.
Nope.
Nope, now they're going back to a minute. They're going to roll it down again or what?
Yeah, it looks like it.
I think that they're giving them the minute for the timeout or something. What a basketball game here at Highland Park.
Well, I'll tell you what, no better way to decide the conference championship. You got overtime, you got, you know, even in overtime, a last-second type of situation where one team's going to win or not. And both of these teams have just played outstanding tonight. Hard-fought battle, and it's just been an entertaining game all night long.
Yeah, they put 2 seconds on the board. I believe Wingo, who made the last bucket, is going to shoot 1 free throw. That's an interesting call. Missed the free throw.
Yeah, it's, you know, if you miss it, it's bounced around. You're not sure who's going to get the rebound. That might kill the 2 seconds right there if he misses intentionally.
That's pretty, and you know what? Then you don't have an opportunity to make a nice baseball pass.
That's right.
To hit somebody like a Mauer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're telling them to miss. Just from the wrist action that I saw the coaches give them over there, I think they've instructed Mark to miss this.
Well, he does it.
And I was entirely wrong. Oh, it was only a 2-pointer.
2-pointer.
Oh.
Holy cow, are you kidding me? Wingo hits the free throw. Cretin-Derham Hall goes the length of the floor, hits the bucket for 2, but it needed to be a 3.
And he was just inside of that circle. It was awfully close, but well, Highland Park, congratulations to the Scots. They win the St. Paul City Conference outright, and they'll get to meet North St. Paul on Saturday.
North Minneapolis.
Oh, I'm sorry, North Minneapolis.
You are correct. What a fantastic basketball game.
That's right, great way to finish the conference. And great way
2 in a row. I mean, SPNN, we got something going here, baby.
Right.
I mean, the last 2 games we've covered have just been right down to the wire. Outstanding basketball games.
Yeah, that's right.
So the final in overtime, the Highland Park Scots win the St. Paul City Conference with a 63-62 victory over the Cretin-Derham Hall Raiders. I'm Coleman McDonough with Tim Williams. This is SPNN Sports. What are your final thoughts, Tim?
Well, I think it's a tough game to have a winner and a loser. They both played very well throughout the night, and you know, I think both coaches can be proud of their guys. Moving into sections, going into the state tournament, I think both of these teams are on a pretty good roll, and they're both going to be a force in their section and going into the playoff time.
Right, and you know, while it's a disappointing loss for the Raiders, what they do have to take out of this is the fact that they can play with a team with the big post players like Wingo and Hargrove, etc.
Yeah, exactly. They did a nice job fronting. I guess we had talked about possibly getting them into, you know, a zone or something like that. We didn't see that all night. They played tough man-to-man.
For a replay of this game, if you want a copy of this unbelievably fantastic basketball game, you can send $25 to SPNN. Address 214 East 4th Street, St. Paul, Minnesota 55101. Again, for a copy of this game, send a check for $25 to SPNN, 214 East 4th Street, St. Paul, Minnesota 55101. And what a fantastic game this would be to have in your collection.
That's right. It certainly would be a good one to have on the shelf to pull out. at any time and watch, because really the entire game from tip-off to the final buzzer was just incredible action.
End-to-end action, and that ending was just something. I mean, from the turnover, Highland Park had the ball with 30 seconds left in a 1-point lead. They turn it over, Cretin Hall takes lead. I mean, it just went back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, it really did. Great crowd here tonight. We had talked about that earlier, and I think there was people weren't sure when Cretin hit that last shot. They weren't sure if it was good or I mean, if it was a 2 or a 3 or what the case was. So it was just great atmosphere.
Okay, well, that's all from St. Paul Highland Park. The Cretin Hall Raiders defeated by the Highland Park Scots 63-62. I'm Coleman McDonough with my partner Tim Williams. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you.
For all of us at SPNN, thank you very much for watching.